15 of the fantasy basketball season, and here's a few forwards I look to sell and trade this week. The first guy, Tobias Harris of the Philadelphia 76ers. So Harris here, he's been a decent player over the last few seasons, and definitely for fantasy basketball where you know you're going to get 18, 20 points a game from him, and a decent amount of rebounding as well on the season. 18.6 points a game, 7.5 rebounds, 3.8 assists, 1.2 threes, and 46% from the field there. So Tobias Harris scoring the basketball well once again this season. In the last couple weeks for him, his numbers have bumped up just a bit. 19.4 points a game, 7.4 rebounds, 3.3 assists, 1.5 threes, and 52% from the field. So right now, Harris has been on a hot streak now, and his value's at peak value where it's been the whole season. After coming off a 33-point game, I would put him out there on your trade block and see what you could get for him. Obviously, I'm not going to dump any of these guys just for anything, but right now where they're having good games and games where they're playing over their head, maybe you could trade him away and get a good one-for-one deal of a guy who's more consistent with more upside. So over the last few games here for Harris, January 21st versus the Clippers, 20 points, 7 rebounds, 4 assists, 3 steals, a block, a 3, 47% from the field. January 23rd at the Spurs, 18 points, 11 rebounds, 5 assists, a steal, 46% from the field. And January 25th versus the Pelicans, 33 points, 11 rebounds, 2 assists, a steal, 2 blocks, 3 threes, and 68% from the field. So right there, that's good scoring the basketball. He's given on his good rebounding, like I mentioned. And the field goal has been bumped up as well over the last 4 games. But right now, I don't think Harris is going to keep this up. And he had a couple good matchups versus a weak Clipper, Spur, and Pelican defense. So right now, if you could get something better than what Harris has been doing this season with his value up over the last couple weeks here, I definitely would do it. The second forward I look to sell and trade this week, Gordon Hayward of the Charlotte Hornets. Hayward, we know he's a good ball player, no doubt about it, but the problems with him over the last 4 or 5 seasons has been the injury concerns, and now he's banged up with a right foot injury, and he never makes it through a full season. Last season, he almost got there until he missed the last 4 or 5 weeks of the season, and now with this foot injury, it's definitely a cause of concern, obviously, with the bad injuries Hayward's had, especially the leg injury a few years ago where he dislocated it the first game of the season when he was with Boston. So on the season here for Hayward, 17 points a game, 4.7 rebounds, 3.7 assists, a steal, 1.8 threes, 47% from the field. But the last couple weeks here, it's been about the same for him, except the field goal has been going up. 17 a game, 3.8 rebounds, 4.2 assists, 1.6 steals, 2.6 threes, and 55% from the field. But he's missed the last 2 ball games now with the foot injury. And his numbers, they haven't been all that great as well. So right now, if I could trade Hayward and get anything of decency, this is a guy I actually would dump off for something just more consistent and a guy with a healthy track record. The last few games here for Hayward, January 17th at the Knicks, 16 points, 2 boards, 4 assists, 2 steals, 3 threes, 37% from the field. January 19th at Boston, 5 points, 3 boards, 3 assists, 2 steals, a 3, 50% from the field. And January 21st versus the Thunder, 16 points, 7 rebounds, 4 assists, a steal, 3 threes, and 54% from the field. So right now, not great numbers like I mentioned. The field goal has been pretty good, but the scoring's gone down, and he's not really giving on his any other categories besides scoring and 3-point shooting. And now with the foot injury, I would trade him off and see if I could get a more consistent and healthier player, because Gordon Hayward, he just can't make it through a full season. And the third and final forward I look to sell and trade this week's Kristaps Porzingis. So Porzingis, similar type of situation, in my opinion, like Gordon Hayward, where he just don't make it through a full season, and he hits that wall about 45, 50 games in. So on the season for Porzingis, solid stat line, 19.6 points a game, 8 rebounds, 2.1 assists, 1.8 blocks, 1.5 threes a game, and 45% from the field. But the last couple weeks here, he's been in and out of the lineup with the safety and protocol list here. But the numbers have dropped: 15.3 points a game, 8 boards, 1.2 assists, 2.5 blocks, 1.3 threes a game, and 45% from the field. So the last 3 games here for Porzingis, January 20th versus Phoenix, 18 points, 11 rebounds, an assist, 2 blocks, 2 threes, 46% from the field. January 23rd versus Memphis, 15 points, 8 rebounds, 2 assists, a whopping 6 blocks, 2 threes, 54% from the field. And January 25th at the Warriors in a blowout loss by almost 40 points, 9 points, 7 rebounds, an assist, a block, 2 steals, a 3, and 26% from the field. So Porzingis, he's been blocking a lot of shots, no doubt about it, but his scoring's gone down. Rebounding's mediocre for a 7'3" player. And he's just a guy you can't count on as well. His minutes are restricted, anywhere from 25, 30 minutes a game. And he's a guy that never makes it through a full season. But right now, he's off the protocol list since January 14th, and he's been playing. But I just don't like Porzingis each and every year for my fantasy team, because at crucial parts of the year, he misses time, and he's a guy that don't stay on the court. So if I could trade him off and get anything of decency, this would be the time to do it. So that's a few forwards I look to sell and trade here for Week 15 of the fantasy basketball season.